welcome to my universe. So, once again, I am still messing with the sound for stream. So, if something sounds off or bad, or if you're having trouble hearing me, let me know so I can fix it during the stream instead of, when I listen to it tomorrow. It's okay. Someday I will find settings I like. It's just taking time. Yesterday's didn't actually sound too bad after I fixed it midstream, though, so that's nice. I think I'm getting there. I'm mostly not sick, too, which is really nice. I just got a little bit of residual stuff in my throat and whatnot, and then maybe just a little bit of allergy issues. But, yeah, overall, it's starting to feel pretty good again, so life is good. Anyway, I was looking at the picture here, and I remember that I was super sick last week when I was trying to get her proportions right, and they're not terrible, I guess. I still don't think I quite have it right, but once again, I think I'm gonna do a little bit of work on the face over here because I feel like it. But, I think once I get the nose, that I'm probably going to stop. And I actually feel like right now, her jaw is protruding outward a little bit. I keep going back and forth on how this jaw should be, and this happens all the time. For whatever reason, I could just never seem to get the jawline in the right place. So, oh yeah, so that is where I will be starting. And then once I do that, I'll copy it all over to this side again, and I'm going to try to get the proportions right on this side, since her body is just a little bit more clear on this side. Yeah, over here I can kind of bury stuff in the dress, and I'm trying to avoid that. So let's see, collapse that, and we'll see if I can get the nose a little bit better and fix the jaw. I actually don't think her nose is that bad. The jaw is probably more of an issue. Just looking at things here. Yeah, the jawline is definitely off, but I think her eyes are looking pretty good, and I think I like how I handled the eyelashes here. I keep going back and forth on whether I like or not I like this one. But this one looks pretty good. You know what? I'm gonna stare at this for a second. I'm gonna figure out why I think this one's okay, but this one's not. Because they have a lot of the same energy here. Just, following the shape of the eyelashes across. It's something about this side just feels more soft. Okay, I have a thought. I think that's actually going to be the first thing I do. I was planning on just going into the nose, but... well, we all know that things rarely go as planned, so it's fine. Now, one thing I do know is that even on this side, even though I used a hard brush for all of this, I still think it feels pretty soft. So, I actually think the hair looks pretty soft too, even though, once again, it is all hard brush, no gradation yet. There's just a little bit of blurriness due to some of the liquify I had to do in order to get all this in the right place. But, yeah, I do feel like all of that feels pretty soft. So once again, I'm kind of feeling like you can do soft things with hard edges like this, which I think is interesting. But when I set in to figure out how to do a little bit of a softer style, this was not what I was expecting to be doing. I figured I'd use this brush very little, or maybe just to get things started. But I think I can actually use it more than I initially expected, which I think is kind of neat. I don't know, art always has a way of surprising me. I think that's why you gotta be careful in making assumptions about things. I'm not getting the right color here. These colors don't quite match. So I'm gonna really get in there and get the lightest pixel that I can. Yeah, yeah. You know what? I'm gonna do big cough real quick. Give me just a sec. Ah, there we go. Oh, the stuff is out my throat now. So, current hypothesis. One of the reasons that I think this side looks a little bit better than this side is because my light areas go closer to the end and are kind of following the edge a little bit better. In fact, I'm just going to do that. And the light source is coming from this way, and I think I kept trying to light it from this side as though it was in the middle. So I think that might be my issue. So I just need to use the light to kind of divide the eyelashes a little bit better. I'll just make those nice, soft, delicate lines. Make sure that it is coming from the left instead of from the right. And this already looks a lot better in my opinion. So there we go. I think I solved the mystery. Yeah, I don't think it has to be more than that. And I do think that looks a little bit better. I think I can actually keep the eyelashes pretty simple. I still haven't plopped on any eye makeup or anything. I think I'm gonna go into the nose and jaw a little bit before I do those details, though. It's always funny because, you know, the second I start staring at things, I suddenly start noticing problems. Also, very, very common. Okay. So the two things that I am observing, I think this mouth is a little bit too far down and to the left. So I think I want to bring it up this way just a little. Because I think that with the lips showing, it should be a little bit closer to the nose. I think this distance would be okay if I didn't have any lips. But when you do, I think they got to be a little bit closer to the nose. And on the nostril end, I need to think about that one for a second. I think it might just be that the center of the nose is a little off center. But this actually doesn't look quite as terrible as I thought it did. No, not quite there. So I'm just gonna try to center this a little bit better and the tip as well. And if I'm putting the tip there, then I think this means that I should have a little bit more of the light. The lightest point here. Come in just a little bit over here, a little. Just a little. Yeah, there we go. And then this nostril will come out a little bit more. And that looks a little bit more proportionate. I think the rest of it's looking mostly okay, though. Let's see, I think I want to adjust this just a little. I pretty deliberately made the area around her eyes a little bit darker than I normally would have. Just make her look a little more sinister, you know? Very important here, so... I think the extra darkness around her eyes is important for that. Also, I kind of like the idea of a little bit of a darker eyeshadow or something. I think that'll also have a nice little effect. Let's see, the nostril. I want to do something with the nostril. Let's take a look. I think the bottom side of her nose is actually fine. Like, this isn't especially realistic or anything, I'm not going for realism, strictly speaking, just slightly more detail, slightly more softness. Let's see, I'm gonna flip this over and see. But no, I think just adjusting the point really, really helped. And I think I can make it look pretty good once I put the blush back on her, and I have a slightly darker spot there that I can put a highlight on. But I don't think I'm quite ready for that. I want to get the jawline good and make sure that everything else is like a super set in stone before I start doing stuff like that. And it's kind of the same with the hair. I don't have any shading, well, aside from like literally right here, just because it was convenient, I guess. But yeah, I don't have any cast shadows from the hair yet. But I don't really want to do that until I'm ready to render the hair. So, not gonna do it. Okay. So now I'm gonna do the thing with the mouth that I said needed to be done. I'm gonna put it a little higher, a little bit to the right. And hopefully I can make her jaw look a little bit less protrudy and silly. I'm not gonna worry about where the face is sitting on the shoulders and stuff yet. I figure that'll come when I get back to working on the other side. But for now, let's just do the slight adjustments to the jawline. That'll hopefully fix this issue that I'm having with it. I don't mind her jaw being a little bit big. That is just normal anime proportion. So, you know, now that I think about it, what are her facial proportions like? Does she have a big jaw? Or big chin, I guess? Yeah, and then it kinda... Man, her face is so squishy. She's got little squishy cheeks. People are always fixated on her ears, but man, those cheeks are just so pokeable. Anyway. So yeah, the jawline actually lines up a little bit below her mouth, but I don't think I'm gonna draw it like that. I see a lot of anime artists do that, but I always have trouble getting that to look right. Maybe it was just a result of everything that I drew before, but I mean, even if you look at my jawline here, let me try to get forward here. There we go. It's like, yeah, you can see that it kind of comes together around where my mouth is. I'm pretty sure that's how it works in real life. Admittedly, I haven't looked at a face quite closely enough for that. It varies somewhat, depending on jaw shape, of course, but it's something like that. But here we go. I'm going to try to adjust things a little. Oh, squishable. Should I make her cheeks? These cheeks are a little bit less squishable than the ones on her model, but I don't know. I really like the way this side looks. I think that the cheeks on this side look really good. So I guess I'll just mirror that a little. I will push this side up just a bit. And then, you know, in a true me form, I'm gonna look away for a bit. And then I will decide if I still like it. But I think that's looking a little bit better. Yeah, it doesn't really look like her mouth and jaw are protruding outward a little. It's kind of amazing how little you have to do to make it better, because this is what it was before, and this is what it is now, and I already think that looks like 10 times better. It's amazing how sensitive people are to the accuracy of human faces in drawing. Because, I mean, yeah, this still looks very strange to me, whereas this, I don't know, I think it feels better. So I think I can get behind that. I also like the little change on the eyelashes. I think that ended up working pretty well. I'm debating if I want this to be quite so... Like, it's looking right at us, right? This is pretty much a front view here, whereas I'm, in my head, picturing it slightly more on the back of her head. So you know what? I'm gonna poke that real quick. I am just going to follow my curiosity a little. Let's see, if I just tilt you slightly. Let's see what happens. Don't mind the other hair getting caught up in the crossfire. I think it's fine. If they need any adjusting, I can do that later. Let's see, something like that versus... Nah, I think I prefer it looking right at us. Maybe it makes less sense, but I like the flower. I like the hair flower. I think it's neat. So I think I just want it to be a little bit more noticeable. I am kind of designing half of this outfit. No, more than half of this outfit. Like most of this outfit around flower shapes. So, you know what? Maybe it doesn't make sense, but I don't care. All right, let's go try to fix the proportions over here. I just need to study torsos. Anyway, rather than worry about this now, I'm going to try to get all the clues that I can, and while my brain is still fresh and ready to draw, I'm going to work on the hand a little bit, because right now it's very placeholdery, and I think I just need to get it looking a little more three-dimensional, and maybe something will click. We'll see, but otherwise... Well, I could point out a lot of issues here. Totally could. There are absolutely things that I could poke at there, but I have just decided for no reason at all that I want to start with this hand. Well, okay, maybe not for no reason at all, but... Hand. We're not going to run away from the hand this time. Okay. So... Let me see, do I have hand on hip reference? Because if I don't, I should. There, I do. Perfect. So, let me see. This is such a common pose that I think I can probably find one at a similar angle, and I sure can. Most excellent. It's facing the wrong way, but that's fine. It doesn't need to be one-to-one. I just need to look at the hand, and there's only so much I can do with using my own body, because then I have to, like... craning my neck over there, and nobody needs that. So, yeah, the biggest thing that I observed, we have an index finger on the top and the pinky on the bottom, and there's like a little triangle. So we get the pinky, kinda not exactly facing downward, but kinda off to the side, kinda like this. I'm just gonna get rid of these fingers because they're totally wrong. So, it's this kind of angle. And I'm not gonna worry about keeping the pattern that I plan to put there later. It's not important. I just needed that to test design elements and make sure that all the colors were being broken up in a way that satisfied me. Okay. And indeed, the palm of the hand is going down a bit more sharply. So we get kind of a straight here. This part is going to kind of come in here, and I am just going to gradually sculpt this. My method of getting things right is basically sculpting. Okay. And I kind of want to get that there. I didn't mirror the face over, but I don't think I need to. I think this is fine for determining the size of things, and having her jaw protruding a little bit is not really going to affect what I'm doing at the moment. But I'm just comparing the size of the hand here. I think the pinky is a little bit long since this is just a tiny little pinky finger, but otherwise all is well. And I think that this is exactly what I want, so I think that's good for the bottom. And then when I do hands, I kind of like to define the end of fingers. Okay, let me rephrase. When I do hands and I'm actually planning on drawing all the fingers, sometimes when I do hands, I just, I don't know, do something like, let me find a good spot. We'll do it over here. I just, kind of put them together, so I'd have a shovel shape, and then, you get the hands here, and I'd do something like this. This looks like nothing. But basically, if I'm not gonna draw all the fingers, you can just kind of... We got a fancy pinky. That's what's going on there. But you can just kind of draw them as a clump. And I probably will do that to an extent. Because when I look at this reference, the next two fingers kind of stick together. So I'll probably just draw them as a clump. But I'd like to get the index and pinky fingers. I find it a little bit easier to make things proportionate, especially when I am drawing things at a funny angle like this. So let's see. This goes down pretty sharply, so it'll be something like that. And then the index finger goes up a little, and then we'd have a bend, and it kind of comes out. And once again, I do think that the pinky finger is quite long. Okay. And then the other two fingers, like I said, I'm just gonna kind of clump them together, but I see them doing something kind of like this. They're kind of going down toward the pinky, and it's just kind of like this. So I'll just put them together for now, and I think that is sufficient hand detail for me to understand where the arm should be connecting. So now I kind of know where this arm is supposed to be going. And that is sufficient. I'll go ahead and I'll put a little bit of shading on it, I guess. But I can feel the shape now, so that's what really matters here. Oh, there we go. This makes more sense to me as a hand. Is it sitting on the right spot? I feel like... You know, it's going to be impossible for me to tell until I'm really confident about where her hip should be, and right now I'm just not. So, I am actually going to go back a few steps, and I'm going to hide some layers. I think I'm actually going to keep this on there, so that this way I can very clearly mark the middle of her chest here. But I will get rid of the flower. So, yeah, there we go. That'll mark the middle of her chest for me. Maybe I should break out the hot pink and actually really trace over it. Because right now, this is wrong. And I can tell that I was using those buttons to help me find the center. And that probably just totally threw everything off. So the fact that I'm struggling with it, yeah, let's go ahead and just... Oh, it's different buttons. Well, I want to hide those two. But yeah, let's go ahead and really map things out a little. Okay. I'll define the shoulders properly. Yeah, I remember talking about this last time where I was like, okay, this shoulder's coming up and this one's going down, and I think it was throwing me off a bit. But okay. So yeah, this is gonna be marking the center of her chest. And indeed, I do feel like this is sitting like right at the base of her neck. So I think this is exactly what I want. Let's go ahead and draw a center guideline. I do this sometimes. But I want it to follow the contour of her body as opposed to being rectangles, I guess. So, you know, sometimes when I'm drawing things, I'll draw little rectangles going around things. Just pretend like this actually follows things, but and I'll do things like this in order to kind of help me map things out. This time I'm doing it a little bit differently. This time I wanted to follow the shape and overall energy of the pose. So when I was designing the pose, I wanted it to be fairly relaxed. So this means it's going to have a very soft curve going through it. It's she's leaning back just a little, so it's kind of, yeah, it's more of a C curve actually than an S. So you can see the line is pretty straight. This was the kind of energy I was going for. Just very, very simple. And so now when I think about how her body is shaped through that, we get the center coming down her neck. It's going to come over through her chest. It's going to come out. I kind of want it to flatten there a little. This is going to end up being kind of inaccurate, but that's fine. I will adjust it accordingly. You know, I describe my method of doing things as sculpting. So generally getting something down and then adjusting it after is just way easier for me than getting it right the first time. And this is why I'm slow. It's okay. Maybe someday I'll get there where I don't have to just fully sculpt things out, but this is what works now, so I'm gonna roll with it. Okay. So I kinda sculpted it back through. I feel like I want this side to come in a little bit more. Maybe not that much, though. Perhaps. And I think I want this part to come out, this part to come down. I feel like it's a little bit straight still. So, with the way the pose is going, I think I want it to come out this way. Once again, very important that I capture the energy, so... I'm trying to describe what I think the problem is. A part of it is just that, yeah, the current problem with the overall pose, not with this line. Basically, I guess I feel like I had balance issues. Like, it feels like she's standing fine. Not that kind of balance. But left and right don't feel very equal. And her chest area both simultaneously feels like it's sticking out a lot from, like, right here, for example. And is also really flat. Like, this side looks super board-like to me. Like, everything just feels wrong, and it's just a huge contradiction. And so that tells me that my left and right sides are, like, off balance, and nothing is quite right, and things are facing the wrong direction. And I probably don't have the lapels on her suit going the right way. And all that. And sometimes this is where I'd, go back to the beginning and sketch out the entire body again, just on one layer. But I fear the YouTube, and I don't really want to do that. I don't want YouTube to yell at me for drawing naked people. So I'm doing it like this instead. I'm just trying to find the balance between left and right and just really follow how I think her body should be moving. So that part comes out, and then I think her hips will bring her back down this way a little. And I'm gonna follow the kind of inseam of her leg here. We're not gonna worry about this one just yet. This still doesn't feel quite right though, but it's okay, it's a start. So I'll just start moving it around until it does. 'Cause that's how I roll. I'm always kind of amazed at people that can just get it right the first time. I am so not one of them. Or as I some people like, oh shoot, what was the name of that Korean artist that passed away recently? Well, regardless, there's some people there where I just see them going in right away, drawing eyes, and they just already look in perspective without anything else around them, and I'm just like, how? I typically need some time to kind of feel it out, and this feels a little bit low to me. Just move the whole thing up. Okay, so this tells me that if I were to take my shirt layer, put the shadow here instead, that it would probably look more correct. And, with the way things are angled, if I were to take my suit layer, just get rid of this entirely, that would look more correct. And if I were to go back to the shirt layer, send some of this upward, it would look more correct. Yeah, basically. So there you go. Yeah, I think I was probably having to follow the shoulders a little bit too closely. Because a lot of the times when I draw things, I use the shoulders to line things up. But because I had one arm raised here, and, not exactly that. So, the angle of the shoulders. I go back to my guy. Let's go mess with that a little. The angle of the shoulders is actually still like this. She is still leaning this way. It's just, this arm is being raised because it's sitting on her hips. That does raise your arm. Like, I think right now it's raised a bit too much, but if you go and try to put your hand on your hip like this, you will notice that your shoulder goes up a little. And this arm is much more relaxed. So when that happens, your shoulder drops a little. It's just kind of chilling out there. You know, it's not doing too much. It's very relaxed. So that basically means that my lower shoulder from this angle is going up, and my upper shoulder is going down. So this angle changes a lot. And I think it just ended up confusing me because I was looking in the wrong places. I'm gonna go ahead and keep that line there. And then her hips here definitely should be going a little bit this way, but they're gonna be fairly straight. I think this is too long. I should put it to where I actually think the hip is gonna be the middle of it. And then this will be kind of how her hips are sitting. But the basic idea that she's rotating a little bit at the waist, which is why this bit here is closer to this side than it is up here in her shoulders. So this length longer than this length. There's just a slight little twist in there. But yeah, that feels a little bit more accurate to me. Which means that this shoulder should be... I think right now the hips might be a little bit narrow. I'm just going to leave this perspective guide in there, and I'll worry about getting the width right in just a little bit. So the shoulders here should be a little bit more facing towards us. So that'll be like here, here, No, this is not too far. Here. Here. Yeah, that feels all right. Okay. So I'll attach her arms like that then. You know what? I'm gonna do it before they move around. So there we go, so something like that. And then I would just want to make sure that this shoulder is a little bit higher than this, and this one's a little bit lower. Okay, I can do that. All right, sometimes you just got to take things one step at a time, and hopefully this will make her arm feel a little bit less long. Attach it over here a little bit. I think I want it to be a little thicker. Okay. Let's attach it to the wrist a little better. I'm still not entirely sure if that's where the hand is going to end up being. It looks like I might want it a little bit higher up based on where I'm kind of defining the hip here. So it's okay if her arm looks a little bit long. It kind of does. But I think I'm going to adjust a bunch of other stuff first. So the big thing I want to adjust is the lapels here, because they will help me find the center again. Let's see, I kind of said that the center was a little bit further this way. I'm gonna go ahead and push this around a little. I wanted it to be really open on the upper part of her chest, and then kind of come together and close on the lower part. So I'm gonna try to put that a little bit more in perspective. I can kind of see it now, so let's see, and I have a shadow color already, so I'll take that. Don't worry about the arm just sticking out there is fine. Don't worry about it. I don't know, can I actually move this down below that? Awesome. Okay. I don't think that affects anything, so I think I can keep it like that. This will go up kind of around her neck. I haven't fixed the arm on this side, but we'll get there. It's fine. Right now it's looking a little, the lapel there's looking a little popped, like, you know, a popped collar. And not quite what I'm going for here, so I'm gonna smooth that out a little bit. And I think I want this to come down and feel a little bit more relaxed. This is supposed to be the lower side with how she's tilting, but it's actually higher up on her body than this side. And I think with how she's tilted, should be pointed downward. So something like that. I just kind of want this to be rolled up a little bit more, so we get that kind of shape. Okay, yeah, this is looking pretty promising. And we'll worry about the shirt that escaped containment in a little bit. This side should be pointing a little bit more upward, I think. Gonna kind of come up, and I'm gonna hide the window in the background for just a little bit. See if that helps me see a little bit better with the gold here. And you know what, before I can do this side, I got to adjust the shoulder. So let's do that. Let's get that shoulder sitting in a better place. So I do want it to drop. I'm also hopeful that this will help her neck feel like it's sitting there a little bit better. I think it might be slightly off center again. Okay. See, this is why I said we didn't have to worry about the shards that escaped containment. I would eventually come back and just fix it all. It's all good. And I get the feeling I'm gonna have to go down there and mess with things a few times. But it's okay, you know, once I get all of this just all facing the right direction, that is gonna help so much. So much. So I'll just go back and forth between these two layers for a bit and try to get the shape of her chest to do what I want it to do. Just gonna sculpt it on out, because I think I know exactly what to do at this point, and I think it's gonna look pretty good. It's amazing how much easier it is to draw when I'm not sick. Holy cow. Because, man, I just remember struggling so much these past couple of weeks. But, you know, suddenly I can see all the shapes and everything makes sense. And I'm like, wow, I can see, I can breathe. My head does not feel like it is just swimming through mud. It is wonderful. Just have a new appreciation for everything. And I'm like, feels nice. Really does. Okay, so let's see. There's gonna be like a part going around her neck here. I guess I can just draw the whole thing. I think it's gonna be kind of like this. I mean, obviously I'll be erasing some of this later, but this will help me for now. So I'll go ahead and leave it in, and then it'll kind of come around and forward. And at some point, I will have to connect it to the shoulder. But, you know, this is fine for now. I'll go ahead and deal with that arm in just a little bit. Freaking arms, I swear. I might actually do just some straight up torso studies. I really want to draw something for Ava's birthday, and frankly, I think that she is an excellent subject to be studying torsos with. So, I might take a look at that a little bit, and we'll see what I can learn. Okay, and you know, like I said, I'm not worried about these that her chest and her arm melding together right now. I might go ahead and separate them just to help me see better. But in a bit, it's fine. Let's really get this shape just looking really, really nice, and my pen just touched places I did not expect. Let's see, do you go this way? Yes, you do. And then that would mean that you go this way. Maybe not this strong. Maybe this line's a little bit too strong, but that's the energy. That is the general shape. Just something kind of like this. Maybe not that much though. So let's lessen that just a little bit here. And then I think I want the curve up this way. be a little bit more open. Oh yeah, this is going to be so much easier to put the lapels on once I just have these kinds of shapes a little bit more clearly defined. Make it nice and heart-shaped. Okay, so I'll start there. Let's go ahead and get rid of all these parts of the shirt that escaped containment and stuff like that. I'm just gonna do a little bit of cleanup here, and I still don't think I'm gonna have this kind of collar in the final version, but it's really, really convenient for helping me figure out how things are turning. So I'm just gonna go ahead and draw that for now. So we'll have... Okay, let me get rid of... Actually, I don't think I want to. I was gonna say, let's get rid of the collar that I have drawn back there, but no, it's fine. I think this is fine. So I'll just go ahead, we'll get that in there. I'm going to affix all of the angles here. So it's going to kind of connect right here. Okay. All this is going to be covered up anyway, so I can do any kind of collar that I want. It's also a lot of the time when you see me first drawing clothes, regardless of how they're going to look in the end, I'll often draw a V-neck. Just because I find it really, really easy to see how things are sitting on the character when I draw it like that. And that is what's most important to me at that stage in the process. So just doing a similar thing here. I don't care if this is how it's going to look. Right here, I'm just feeling out how it's sitting on her chest. And I think I'm getting pretty close. I think I'm getting pretty close here. I think I want this to come up a little bit more. I think this needs to come up a little bit more too, actually. And I think I'll just liquefy the rest. But there we go. I think it's sitting on her as something like that. And this will make it easier to place the buttons when the time comes. Am I ready for that? You know what? I think I am. Let's go ahead and put the buttons back on. I think they're totally wrong, so I'm just going to delete this, and I'm just going to kind of messily flop them on until I get the kind of shape that I want. So let's see, if I hide my guideline, how does this look now? Yeah, that looks like it's sitting on her chest a little bit more, and I think everything is just a bit closer to the shape that I want it to be. And it kind of is having the shape around her chest that I was going for. I wanted this to mirror what I was doing on this side. Just a little bit less so. Just a little. But no, I think this is looking about right. I might still open the suit a little bit more. But let's go ahead and once again, kind of feel out her side. Get her turning the right direction. So if I have the center here, that should mean something like this is happening. And that's why I say that I don't think this side is opened quite enough. Okay. Which means that this may not be quite in the right place either, but it's getting there. You know, just one piece at a time. She's not turned super sharply, so I don't want this opening here to be too much. I'm actually wondering if it'll look good if I put a little piece down and then have it kind of open up a little bit more as it goes out here. Oh yeah, I think that looks pretty good. And then I'll just fill things in as I think is necessary. Maybe this side needs to come over a little bit. Maybe I still don't have it quite centered. Okay, no, that's looking all right. I do need to move the buttons over just a little here. Mostly this one. But there we go. I think that's about centered on her now, so I can kind of adjust the suit a little bit better. As you can see, I'm just gonna slowly construct things here, one step at a time. This guy might, no, that guy's definitely going a little bit too far over. Let's put him back. Let's see here. Where is... Right there. Okay, perfect. Okay. Yeah, so I think I can work on the shoulders a little more confidently now. So I think this shoulder's pretty okay. Let's get this one doing what it's got to do. So it's a little bit raised up, so I'm going to make it a little bit flatter than I normally would. This one's a little bit lowered, so I think I actually need to angle it down just a little bit more. Where the heck did I put you? There you are. Okay. Just a little, just angled downward a bit more, maybe even send the side up just a little bit higher. There we go. And then have this one be a little bit straighter, so something like that I think should be okay. I have so many things escaping containment right now, but I don't really want to go and clean it up. Not at the moment. It's all good. Because, you know, it's about to change some more. Okay, I think I'm about ready to separate her arm from the rest of her body here. This will get some of it. So I'm gonna have to do something particular here, and while I was working on this, I realized that I think most of this part should actually be hidden. But here we go. Let's get this guy sitting on there now. I'm gonna lower the opacity so that this way I know exactly where it should be going. Let's get the general shape before I start trying to sculpt everything else out. I think I want this bit to be a little bit higher up, but there we go, something like that. Then it'll go behind her chest, and then I think it'll come out right over here. And we'll get this little part that's kind of starting to fold out this way. And I think this should look way more three-dimensional than whatever I had before. And a little bit more in line with what I was actually trying to do. We'll let this come out a little bit more. Okay. So there we go. I think that's about what I want there. That actually does look pretty good, I think. And now let's start feeling out the side. So her side and then this arm. And then I can figure out where her hips are. Okay, and I do need another. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a color a little bit darker. A little bit darker. There we go. That should be pretty good. So that this way I can tell the difference between her chest and her arm. So it's gonna be doing something like that if her chest is here. I think this might actually be a little bit high now that I look at it. Life is hard. Alright, let's lower it down. I'm just gonna take the whole dang thing. We're gonna take the lapels, we're gonna take the suit, and we're gonna take the top. And I am just gonna grab everything right here, and we're gonna move it down. Okay, maybe a bit less of the arm here. I don't think I want that to be moving quite so much, but all this down. And I'll have to fix all the buttons and stuff too, but it's fine. There will be a lot to clean up. This needs to go back up, but... Okay. Maybe right there, is that good? I'm just looking at the size of her head here. I think it might need to be a little bit lower still. There we go. Okay. I think there will be okay. Let's see if I feel the same way after I fill everything back in. And I'm sure YouTube won't bonk me for accidentally showing a hole to nothingness in a vaguely chest area on a lady. So, here's hoping. You never know with YouTube. But it's why I'm afraid of them. So there we go. I think something like that is going to be good. I really do just want this part to look like it's going around her chest here. That is the kind of design I want here. Because while the suit is meant to be a bit more masculine, like I said, it is not a gender swap. I am not trying to turn her into a man here, so it is just a fancy suit. So I still want to make sure she looks nice and feminine. I accidentally cut off part of her chest there. Well, I can fix it. It's fine. Send this back around. Make sure it gets thin up at the top there. It looks like we probably see none of that. Yeah. So we might see just a little bit of it here where it starts to get a little bit thicker. So I'll go ahead and kind of let it poke out just a little. Okay. Back down to the top here. Just gonna take this slowly, one step at a time. Okay. But today I'm determined to get it right. So, I'm just gonna get it. It's gonna happen. Thus declares me. But I think this is already looking a lot better than what I had at the start of stream today, so. Sweet progress. Okay. Actually, I think it's probably fine for it to be the shadow color here. I don't want it to be the really dark one. Just the kind of medium dark one. Okay, let's hide the lapels again, and I'll try to mold the shape here until I'm happy. Then once I'm happy, I can go ahead and get the rest. Okay, so this will be arm. It's fine if I have to adjust a bunch of the shading later. That's kind of to be expected. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put most of the arm in this color for now. Ah. You know, it's times like this that I wish I could just draw with lines sometimes. There are certain parts of line-based drawing, you know, what most normal people do, that just looks so much easier than whatever rigmarole I have to do. But then I try it, and I just I can't get it to work. So I go back to sculpting things. But you know, it works for me, so I'll just keep doing it. But it really does work for me. You know, I poke at it for a bit. I just work really hard to understand what it is that I'm looking at. And eventually, something clicks and it all just kind of works. Sometimes it feels like black magic. Okay, I think it's time for me to get rid of some of this excess, though. Because it is actually starting to get in the way. I'm not even sure what that is. Part of the background. Oh, you are. Okay. Oh, I see. That's right. I had like a candlestick sitting there. Okay, well that's fine then. Background stuff can stay there. I might need to recompose certain pieces of it at some point. But you know what? No one cares right now. Right now, it is just her upper body. The lower body doesn't even exist to me right now. It is just the upper part. And I am just trying to align it with her head. Okay. Get the neck in there a little bit more nicely. I think it might be a little bit thin. That looks pretty okay. Okay, and you know what? I am going to go ahead and fix this button gap. There we go. Okay, so how do I feel about everything from about here up? I think I might need to pull the shoulder out a little bit. Other than that, I think it's doing a bit better. How do I want to do this? I don't really care about this elbow just yet. So I'm just gonna try to get her shoulder in there. That's why I said from about here up. I guess technically her elbow is in that group, but I'm not actually really worried about it yet. Okay. Okay, and now I'm gonna go back to just slowly feeling out this side. Might cut into her arm a little bit, it's fine. So where is her waist anyway? Does this feel right? Or did I accidentally put it too low? No, but based on the size of her head, I think this seems okay. If anything, it's a little bit skinny. Okay, no, I think it being a little bit skinny is accurate, so let's see if I can fix that. So I'll take you and you. Okay. And I'm just gonna pull this out to the side. I don't want her to feel too skinny. She is skinny. That is true. But, you know, there are limits. So this little divot in the middle, it's gonna go away after a while, but it will help me figure out the size of things for the time being, so it gets to stay for now. So right now, I'm not really worried about actually shading things. I'm just trying to make sure I understand the three-dimensional shapes I'm looking at here, which I am maybe halfway there. But right now, my only goal is understanding what the hell I'm looking at. Yes. So this is part of her side, then. It'll come down. Someday, I will know how torsos work, and I'll have so much of an easier time. It's okay, you know what? I've got a list of things to study. I don't think I'll be running out of things to be trying out on and off stream for a long time. There we go. I like this shape, though. I kind of like what I'm putting down here. It's a little bit wide on this side, I think. I gotta kind of let it follow the shape of the body a little bit better still. But the idea, I think, looks really nice, so it's wonderful. Okay. So let's see, where's her belly button, roughly? Probably, like, right there. Be a little lower. So we have the head, and then the next head down is about there. I don't know, this might still be a little bit high. You know what? I'm gonna do some more explicit measuring. I'm gonna measure from this head, though. Let's see, about how big is it? Do I have the back of her head sticking out a little bit too much there? I think I do, actually. Okay. I think I'll fix that right now. So that this way I can measure her head a little bit more accurately. Because if I do have the back of her head a little bit too big, that's probably affecting my view of how big her head is. And if I do make that adjustment there, then I will move the head over to the other side. I have to find where all my buttons are, though. There's too many layers, I swear. Okay. So, current hypothesis. Back of head, a little bit too big. This side feels very okay to me, though. Giving her a little bit too much brain back there. Okay, let's hide the flower for just a sec. While I push the rest of her head back into place. It's okay, Katya. You don't need a literal big brain in order to plot. Everybody knows that your intelligence isn't the size of the brain. It's the size of... across species, it's the size of the brain relative to their body. This is why whales are dumb, but crows are smart. It's all about proportion. I guess whales aren't that dumb. They're smarter than a lot of animals. But dolphins are smarter than whales, from my understanding. Even though they are much, much smaller. Their brains way, way smaller than a whale's. And dinosaurs were also pretty dumb, even though they were huge. And their brains are probably bigger than our bodies. I just always found such things interesting. I'm becoming increasingly worried that I'm doing a little bit too much, but I think this is fine. Let's go ahead and test there. Yeah, that actually feels a lot better. Of just, the face... relative to the face there. Yeah. Okay. So I think I'll leave it there, and I'm gonna duplicate this over to the other side. Deal with the mild inconvenience that comes with it. Let me see, do I have the hair in this group? I accidentally collapsed the body instead of expanding the hair. Whoops. I do. Okay, let's take that out. Cut off her head briefly. Don't worry about it. She'll get it back in just a sec. I'm gonna have to put it back on her body. Oh, man. So I did end up moving the head a little bit. That's alright. Okay. Sitting on my foot. My foot was falling asleep. Alrighty then. Let's see here. Let's see here. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? I'm debating if I want to move the body or if I want to move the head, but at minimum, I gotta clear out the things that will not be here. So let me get rid of the back hair here. And I will put the rest of her hair back in just so I don't have to worry about moving it around and stuff. And I'll go ahead and attach it. I wanted this kind of more on her shoulder, right? As opposed to up here. Yeah, I think so. You know what? I don't actually remember. I'll put it up here for now. I think that's where I had it before, but I think I might actually end up putting it lower. But we'll do that for now. All right, so... I mentioned that I wanted to avoid moving the head on this side too much, so that this way I could keep the mirror image of it here. So let's try... see if I can move the body over and just do that. No, I really don't think so. It looks way better over there. Okay. So all this means for me is that when the time comes, I am gonna have to move the head so I can do basically whatever I want with the head for now. I can rotate it, however, because I already know that I'm gonna have to get the head from this side in order to get the position for it on this side correct. Because I want them to be perfect mirror images of each other. So, well, not perfect, obviously, but close. I want them to be as mirrored as possible. Let's get her head on here correctly now. Maybe I shouldn't have deleted the other layer. But it's alright, I can find where this thing is supposed to be sitting. I know how heads connect to necks, in theory. Okay, hold on. I'm a little phlegmy. Let me do big cough again. I, for one, look forward to the day when I will no longer have to blow my nose in the middle of stream. Okay, but you know what? I feel like I can talk again. I didn't even realize that I had to blow my nose, but that's what kept leaking into my throat, making my voice sound funny. So, okay, let's see here. I think it's right about there, and yeah, with the back of the head smaller, this is feeling much more proportionate. So I do think the back of the head was just causing me problems. So let's just try to get a decent size here. Maybe your chin's a little bit big. So I'll measure it like this. So yeah, I might want to put her body just a little bit lower here. But I think I can mostly do that just by lowering the shirt layer, actually. Okay, yeah, I'm in the right group. I forgot if I collapsed the dress side. I don't know. I feel like it needs to come up a little bit. She's leaning backwards. That makes sense. So maybe I should put a little bit more of how I picture the shading on this actually going to be, just so I can see it a little bit better. So it's going to be kind of like that with some lines sticking out here. Sometimes this kind of thing can help me. Okay, and maybe that will help me see the shapes better. I've said before, the distinction between drawing and shading and sketching and rendering and all that for me is very, very thin. So I kind of go back and forth. It's fine. It works. It works for me. So there we go. I think that shape is looking pretty nice now. I think I can be happy with that. I think this is throwing me off now, so I'm actually just gonna clear that. And, you know what? I'm gonna hide that big thing there, and I am gonna use the shirt to help me feel at the middle instead of that now. I think the extra thickness in her neck is helping. Normally I draw the neck really, really thin. I think it works with the kind of proportions I was using before, but with the nose, I feel like her face is a little bit longer than what I've been doing lately. So, and of course her body's a little bit more correctly proportioned than what I've been doing lately. So I actually think the thick neck looks pretty good. I noticed it when I looked over here at his art here, and that some of their necks, at least relative to many anime girls, are actually pretty thick. Hers is pretty skinny, but some of them can actually get reasonably thick. Like hers is a little bit more correctly proportioned. Hers is as well. It's still thinner than an actual person's, but a little bit more accurate. Yeah, hers is actually pretty dang normal, I guess, as opposed to anime-ized. So goes all the way down there. So this is actually pretty thick for anime girl. Yeah, hers is pretty accurate too. So I just found that kind of interesting when I was double checking the proportions on artist senpai here. So okay, so I gotta mess with this collar again just a little, kind of help me feel out the middle and all that. I'll let this be a little bit rounder through here, so it looks like it's wrapping around her neck a little bit more naturally. Still probably not the collar I'm going to go with, but I am pretty sure that the collar is going to be covered up by her neck thing, so... Yeah, there we go. That arm's going down, this arm's kind of coming up. I think that's good. Okay, and now I'm kind of feeling out where I think her armpit is. I think it's just kind of right over here. And so then we'll get something like that. And I don't really want to work too much on this arm until I'm confident about the location of her hips. So I know where the hand is. I like to know where the hand is before I draw the whole arm. I'm just solely focused on the shoulder here, because I think that's important to actually figure out where her waist is and the general shape of her body here. Everything is connected. You can't escape it. So I'm kind of just feeling out that shoulder there, but I think that's actually pretty all right. I think it's feeling okay. I was worried that it might be a little bit short, but with the way she's turned, I think it might be okay. So we got this bit kind of... It's still kind of coming up toward her head, and this side, I do worry about this side being long relative to this side. So let's see here. I don't know, maybe I want it just a little bit longer. I don't mind her being a little bit broad-shouldered. I think it suits her. Actually, yeah, I think that looks a little bit better. Okay. Ah. I'm still just making sure that the shoulder is low enough. I'm gonna go put those guides that I made at the beginning of doing all this back on. Yeah, I think it might be just a little bit high. So I want it to come up, but that just means that it's flatter. She still has a normal body here. There we go. Yeah, I think that should be pretty good. Let's go ahead and go back to the suit layer, get rid of all the excess here, and just kind of let it fall. Gonna go and wrap around her neck here. We'll get something like this, and I think this might be okay. So, I'm gonna try to figure out her side again. Okay, and I'm gonna try to let that flow down into where I think her hips are gonna be, which, you know, I think that my little guide is about right here, so right around here. And that tells me that this needs to be higher, because this is supposed to be like around her waist. Maybe a little bit low in the waist, but around her waist nonetheless. And move the hand up with it, so that should be going about there. I think that looks like it's sitting on her hip pretty comfortably. And there we go. Now I can, in theory, connect the rest of the arm, which will be nice. I am still worried that I'm going to have to make her larger. The main reason I was worried about that was because I'd have to do a bunch of shenanigans with the face, but, you know, I kind of already know it's coming. So maybe I should stop being afraid of it. I'm sure it'll be fine. But I get the feeling in order to get her body sitting on the screen the way I want it to, I am going to have to increase her size. As you can see here, it's like her legs are, if her hips are up there, I do think her legs are a little bit long. So if I want her feet to be cut off right about here, I am just gonna have to make her bigger on the screen in order for her to be taking up the same amount of space. I think, you know what? I think I might actually have her neck a bit long there. Let's lower the head. Oop. Might still be a bit thick as well, the neck that is. Just a bit though, it's mostly right. Okay, I think I moved the head down a little bit too much. Okay, there we go. I think that'll work. I think that's great. So, where is my skirt? Skirt. Up onto the hips. I want you to be filling off her hips properly here. Okay, and I see that I have my suit layer a bit too long now. It should really only be going down to the belt. I had her torso a bit longer before. Okay. And let's see, this time I'm actually gonna bring the legs up with it. There we go. That looks like it's coming off the hips there. And let's see, the belt. Let's turn it just a little, make it just a little bit straighter. Okay, how are things looking now? We're not gonna worry about how long the legs are just yet. I don't really want to be resizing her until I am just really confident that everything is right. Let's see, I think I can make the body just a touch larger. Just a touch. Somewhere around there. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and fix her legs now. I think... I mean, her torso's looking a little bit wide over here still, so you know what? No, I'm gonna do that first. I want to get the upper body good before I worry about the legs. Because I think I can just zoom in like this, see only what's over here, and then get it right there. And this arm is also really, really long. So, you know what? We're just gonna worry about this part of the body, and then I'm gonna attach the legs afterward. I will always avoid doing that when I am figuring out the pose and the kind of energy there if I intend to have legs. But, I think the pose is fine. So now it's just a matter of getting everything correct. And proportions are still very hard for me, so you know, if you struggle with them, don't worry, you're in good company. I have to feel it all out so hard, and sometimes it's very frustrating. Really is. Sometimes I feel like I should have figured out all of this a long time ago, and I just haven't for some reason, and I don't like it. Hello there, Goku. Welcome, and thank you. Just gradually working through everything, because art is hard. Alright. Let's attach this arm a little more properly. I just think it's way too long right now. There are times when her neck simultaneously feels too long and too short. That's alright. Let's worry about this arm first. One thing at a time. Okay. Okay, now I can go look at that little bit that I was looking at. Let's see. Where is it? There it is. As I think that this doesn't look quite natural yet. Sometimes I think I just have a habit of drawing shoulders a little bit too high. So let's try to work that out. And the other arm, I think I do want to be a little bit lower as well. Drop it down very slightly there. Okay, let's see how it looks without my little guides there. Is that a little better? I think so. I hope so. Let's see. Where is this? And now I just gotta kind of clean up the arm here. Easy peasy. And okay. Yeah, that should be fine. Let's see. Just putting in a little bit more color in a few places to, once again, help me actually understand what I'm trying to do. So I just gotta make sure I understand it. This will start expanding into the hip. And let's see, I think this part of the skirt should actually be a little bit further behind. So that will push it this way. Maybe a little bit thinner. Alright, I want that wrapping around her leg there. And right now it is just not. So we'll go ahead and fix that. Yeah, I think that's much better. So now I think I can actually make this side a little bit thicker. And that should give me the effect I want of, you know, this little skirt-like thing hanging off the edge of her hips on the suit here. So okay, she's gradually starting to look a little more stable, but I am actually going to hide the skirt bit now. I know I just fixed it, but it's fine. Don't worry about it. I needed to do that at some point. Oh, what is this? Are you... Yes, unfortunately. Okay, so I got a stray thing somewhere, so I'm going to try to find it. As always, I'm just afraid of hiding her clothes. Okay, I'm just gonna try to erase on this layer. Okay, no, it is not that. Legs, no. Okay. Yay. I feel better now. So now I think I can get into connecting this part of her torso with her legs. Oh boy. Gonna measure again, because something still feels a little bit off here. You know, since I'm gonna be having to draw the head on this side anyway, I think I'm gonna go ahead and just start adjusting it over here. I've been adjusting it on the other side for a while. Because I started there, but it is time. We're only going to pay attention to this side, and I'll go ahead and leave the hair like this for now, even though I know I'm going to have to change it a lot. Because her hair is asymmetrical, unfortunately. Alright, so let's adjust the chin here and connect this all in. So that this way, hopefully I can get a little bit more accurate size for her head. And then I can use her head to measure some things. And make sure nothing is too long or too short. Okay. Yeah, that feels a little bit better. Okay. So that was probably making certain things seem larger than they actually were. Or maybe that I needed to make them bigger than I actually did. So let's see if it feels a little more accurate now. I don't know. This might still be a little bit high. Do I need to lower her shoulders a little bit more? No, I think that this distance for her neck is correct. But I don't feel like I can lower her chest anymore either. Let's see, about where do I think her... Eyeballing it, where do I think her elbow should fall? About here? Okay, so I think that means that I have her hand a little bit too high still. So I think her hip is probably actually a little bit more like there. For a while this arm felt way too long, but for a second there it felt a little bit short. So this feels a little bit better. There's just something about here that feels short, and I'm wondering if it's just the cut of the suit again. Because normally, when you'd make a suit, it would be like, yeah, I can just do it on this layer. It would be more like this, and then all of this here would be black. But I have this one very, very wide open. So it's supposed to be kind of coming down to that little soft spot where your ribs start to split across over your lungs. And that's where it's supposed to be going down, so this means that her ribs should be kind of coming down like this. You know, kind of out around over here. I should use a different color. Kind of like that. There's a rib cage there. So yeah, there should be maybe a little bit more stomach area here. Just feeling through my own here. Maybe I drew him a little bit big there. I wasn't trying to be super accurate. But yeah, this does tell me that she needs a little bit more stomach. So like the ball of her stomach here. Maybe a little bit more like this. And the belt should indeed be on there about halfway through it. So I think I have it in the right place. But her legs and where they split should be lower. Okay. Okay, so I think that's what's throwing me off there. This all feels okay to me. Let's go ahead and clean up the excess escaping containment on the shirt. Right there. Does she feel skinny? No, I think she feels okay. I am going to remove the belt for now, And I am just gonna feel out how her legs connect. Gonna get rid of her hand for a little bit too. It's all good. Don't worry, she'll get her body parts back later. I'm just borrowing them for a second because they're in the way. Don't worry, she doesn't need them right now. She'll get them when she needs them. It's all good. So this side is facing a little bit less towards us than that side is. There's a little twist in her waist here where her legs are pointed more this way, and then her body is pointed more toward the viewer. So, you know, three-dimensional arrow shenaniganry like that. So I want to make sure I honor this kind of little twist in here. Okay, I'm gonna draw on the legs layer. So there's gonna be like a piece that connects here. We're gonna draw like underwear so that this way I can understand what it is I am looking at. So we come out there, come down here, come around here, and I think this sums up hips here. Yeah, she has pretty strong hips, so I will go ahead and make them strong, maybe even stronger than what they are on her model. Just because I think it looks nice. Okay, yeah, I think I can work with that. And then out here. Down here, and I already suspect that these legs are way too long, so I'm not really worried about that at all. I will fix it in a bit. Right now, I just kind of want to make sure I understand how the hip is coming out and how it's going into her thigh. So, yeah. Now I think I can take a moment to get the knee where I think it should be. Once again, not gonna worry about how long the rest of the leg is. I think that roughly here is probably about the length I want it to be. And this is exactly why I know I'm gonna have to make her bigger on the screen. Because I want her legs to be cut off at the bottom. I don't want to be showing any of her feet or anything. No. We're just gonna cut things off there. Okay. Okay, I think that's pretty good. So now I can kind of get the other leg a little bit more attached here. So once again, let's see, this one is gonna kind of come out a little bit. We'll just follow what I drew before. Then we're gonna have the knee probably like right about here. I'll put a little exaggerated bump in there just for my own reference. It's gonna be a little bit lower than this one because this leg is raised and this one is not. So it's gonna be a little bit lower. It's not raised a lot though, so it's not gonna be like a lot lower or anything. Just a little. Okay. Down and around there. I want to make that thigh look a little nicer. This leg is not supposed to be bent, but right now it's looking a little bent, so I'm gonna kind of come in and draw it a little bit more, I don't know, firmly, I guess. Or we'll just really get those shapes in there, and I think the calf is like right about there. It's probably gonna be cut off like right around here. This one is supposed to be straight, but I do like putting lots of curves in legs, so don't worry about it. And there we go. So, do her legs feel better now? I think I want this side to be a little thicker. But other than that, yes, I think her legs feel maybe a little better. Did I make them a little bit too short? Maybe just a little. I don't want to overcompensate. And, you know, once again, I'm probably going to hold off on doing any proper rendering until until I can check the proportions. I know I said today was going to be body rendering. I lied. My sick brain last week, I thought that I was totally ready, and she was wrong. Me of last week was very silly. But, you know what? It's fine. Her legs are long. I just need to remember that she is just really long. So, there we go. I'm debating if I want to make her hips a little wider. I think I actually do. So, I'll just make her a little thicker there. Okay, no, a little bit too thick there. But let's I like this part. I just don't like this part where it kind of goes into her thighs. So that part I will fix. I don't want her to look fat, just thick. So there's a very important distinction here. Very, very important distinction. So, there we go. And over here. But I think that looks pretty good. Yeah, I think I can get behind that. So, I'll put her hand back now. I'm gonna actually do her hand before anything else. A little bit higher on the hip, and sleeve a little bit higher up. Okay, that seems fine. I'm not sure about this arm, though. Frickin' arms. They will be forever my art nemesis. People complain about hands, but I think arms are 100 times worse. They will always be my nemesis. I will never forgive them. Oh yeah, isn't this hip supposed to be a little higher than this one? Yeah, you know what? I should fix that too. It'll give me a distraction from how much I hate arms. Sounds good to me. And then this side will be a little bit lower, and we get kind of a shape like that. I'm gonna drop this hip just a little. Make it a little bit more relaxed there. It's gonna be carrying most of her weight though. So I need to make sure it feels like her weight is over here, and right now it just doesn't. So that tells me that this leg needs to come over just a touch, and then I can adjust this hip accordingly. This one is still facing way more this direction as opposed to up here, where this part of her body is pointed a little bit more towards us, and this part is firmly pointing this way. So we're not quite seeing this at a side profile, but it's real close. Oh, I'm drawing on the wrong layer. Whoops. Oh wait, no, it wasn't. That's right, I drew the hip on there. Okay. Anyway, I need to slide the hip over to the side just a little. This side will come down here. But there we go. That feels a little better. I still don't feel like her weight is quite distributed correctly, though. So I'm going to slide this leg back a little. Still think I need to just rotate them. Okay, that feels better. Just had to stare at it for a second there. Just shaping things a little bit here. I want things to come out a little there. And then if I go back up to kind of her abdomen, I can fill it out. There we go. Okay. So, something like that. I definitely don't want to be messing with too many things until I'm confident in this, but it all feels a little bit better for now, so I'll take it. Okay, I'm gonna plop in some shadows on this arm here because that might help me kind of figure out what's going on. And then we'll have... I think we see this side. And then it kind of comes down a bit. Let me check my references. Ah. I understand. You know, maybe I should have checked the references sooner, but I just saw arms and I'm just like internal screaming, so I wanted to hold off. But you know what? They helped. So anytime I feel like I'm just not quite doing something right, you know, it's good to go check those references. Where does the arm connect to the rest of this? It kind of like goes around here a little bit more, and then the wrist is like straight. So this arm actually should connect a little bit more over here, I think. You know what? It actually drops lower than I thought it did. The shoulder, that is. I was talking about how the shoulder goes up, but it doesn't go up quite as much as I thought it did. So we drop it a bit lower here. Send the arm out a bit. And, you know, with any luck, once I kind of clean that up, it'll fix all my problems. I still hate arms, though. But I guess I better get them right. I guess. This doesn't feel right. Okay, I'm gonna go look at something else for a little bit. Let's go look at the other arm, you know? Let's go look at the other arm. I think this arm is mostly fine, it's just a little thick. So I'm just gonna go ahead and reduce the thickness. I'm even gonna get rid of the cuff that I plan to have there for now. We're just gonna get the raw shape of the arm. And there we go, I think that's fine. So maybe I can use this as a template to figure out what is wrong here. Art is hard. Okay. Do I have the hand at the right spot? You know what? Not at all. Okay. Okay. So the hand is what I started all of this stuff with, but I don't think I actually have the angles on it completely right here. Straighten that out a bit. And then on the other part, I actually want this to come down a little and in a little. And I'll just prod at it a little until it looks a little bit more accurate. Okay. Let's try that again. Let's see if I can attach the arm the way I think it should be. And if I were to put the planned cuff on this, where would it go? I think it would be like this. And then the wrist would come out a little bit further to the left here. This means that they're not going to be physically connected for a bit, but I think that's okay. I'm not going to worry about it. And I'll just prod at it a little bit again until I am satisfied. Let us sculpt the arm. It's closer. I'll give myself that. It is a little bit better. But that arm is so important to the pose. I need it better than just a little bit better. Than just a good enough at this point. I really want to get that right. Yeah, I think I need to do it at this point. Let's see, what angle do the arms really connect? And how much of her side are we actually seeing here? Because these legs are pointed more this direction. Okay, I'm gonna go take a look around and see if I can find something a little bit closer to what I'm actually trying to do. I swear, every time I look at people doing stuff with their arms, I'm just like, are arms really that long? I swear they're not. Do people in stock photos just have unusually long arms, or am I just weird? I get the feeling I'm just weird here, and I'm actually really bad at judging distance. But I swear, some of these look like that if they were just at their side, they would go down to their knees. What the hell? Okay. So I think what I need to do is I need to move this in a little. And I think we're gonna see just a tiny little piece of the thumb going back. Oh, I have the layer locked. Tiny little piece of the thumb going back behind things here. And, you know, don't mind the sausaginess of them, it's fine. And then with any luck, if I can make this part a little bit longer and this part a little bit flatter here. You know what, I should probably not do this with liquify, I should just do this with rotation. Then maybe, just maybe, I can get it looking okay. That would be wonderful. I hate arms. I think that they will forever be my art nemesis. Maybe someday I'll do proper arm studies, but you know, knowing me, I probably won't. It's okay. I will find things that I would like to draw. I will try to draw them. And they will force me to draw arms, because many of the things I want to draw involve people with arms. You know, as most people have. most of the time I do not draw snakes or armless people. So I end up having to draw arms, and the more arms I draw, the more I'll figure them out. It's fine. Someday, they'll just start making sense to me. Dear Lord. That does not feel right at all. Please come in a little. No, but not the elbow. I know these people are standing up straight, so maybe that's why the difference is what it is. Okay. It's alright. We'll flail at arms for a bit. You know, I always do. Every time I draw something. That's why they're my nemesis. But it's okay. I always win in the end. Actually, no, I do think that we see this side of the arm here. I'm basically turning things into rectangles in my head. And I think we see this part of the arm and this part of the arm. So these are big old plane changes. So I don't think we see this part of the arm up here. I think we see the bottom part. Okay, this feels all right. I'll see how I feel about it in like 5 minutes. I guess I'll start putting some of the details on her clothes back on. I am especially interested in this guy because I think it does a really good job of showing how things are wrapping around her. So I really want to kind of get him in. Because I think it'll help a lot. I still got a little bit of the shadow color I was using, so I can plop that under there and back here. Probably back here too. Okay. 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 Yeah, I think there's okay. I'm just making sure that it covers the right areas. According to my notes back there, this side should come out a little bit more, but otherwise fine. And frankly, I'm not sure if I agree with my past self, so I'm going to adjust that a little. I think it should come down like this. This side is fine though. Okay. So now I had a couple of buttons sitting there, and I think that they do indeed look pretty good right about here. And I think that they help illustrate the twist in her waist a little bit. Okay. I will have to adjust it based on how I see the belt, though, because the belt should not be covering those buttons. So they will have to be smaller, because I want there to be two, and I want them to be doing that. So you can see that they are not quite perfectly aligned. They're twisting a little bit this way, and so this part is sitting kind of on top of her chest, and then there's a plane change here where the lower part of her breast is, comes down this way, and then it starts going back out here because there's a slight twist in her hips. And then we get the center of the belt over here. That's why this side is a little bit bigger than the rest. Okay. Let's get that skirt thing back on. Okay, and I think I want this entire thing to go a little bit to the right. Let it sit on her hips properly. I want them to connect right about in the middle, which tells me I need to rotate this side a little. It should be connecting more like right there. Just a little off center. I'm leaving enough room for the belt here and the little shape that I intend to be on it. I'm pretty sure I intended to make it a flower. Pretty sure. It has been a while, but I think that's what I wanted to do. Okay, that looks like it's sitting on her pretty well, but no, this side is supposed to be lower, so that's right. Okay, I think her legs are looking okay, other than the fact that I cut them off, and she does not have feet, but that's okay, she doesn't need those. Let's see. This arm is looking okay. What other layers do I have hidden? Oh yeah, the cape. Okay, I think before I do the cape, I'm actually gonna do the bit around her neck here. So I'll get this guy sitting around her neck again. Yeah, I still think it looks good. And then the little brooch connecting it at the top. I think I want this to be a little bit more angled. So let's do that. Why is it not giving me access to my handles? Please let me have them. Thank you. Okay. There we go. That's sitting on there a little bit better now. Feels a little bit more in perspective to me. And then the flower. And I can get that sitting on her chest the way I want it to be. Yeah, I think right about there looks pretty good. Yeah, and all this is basically going to have to be redrawn from scratch, so I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, and then I had some frills on that. I'll deal with that later. Hey. So I drew this last time, and I decided that the cape was going to be sitting on her shoulders, and that it was going to connect into this. So it is totally wrong now. So I'm just going to delete it, and we're going to draw it again. And it should be under... No, it has to be over the lapels. So it's just going to kind of sit on her shoulders like this. Where... You have to be on top of that. There we go. So just gonna sit on top of her shoulders like that. Gonna come down. There we go. And she's gonna look so fancy once I turn her cape back on. And I think I'm about ready to do that. So let's let the Katya be a very, very fancy. Okay, so I just reconnect the cape to all this. Her arm is pushing it out of the way a little bit. I am going to have to change the shape of this a little. That's fine. She's moved around quite a lot since I drew that the first time, so there we go. And now, let's go back to the part of the cape that's going across her arms, and I'm going to connect this. So it's going to head off onto the side there. I'm going to let it kind of stick out, so this way it looks like her arm is pushing it out of the way. That shape is really nice. I like it. Just immediately. I'm like, ooh, nice shape. Very nice. And then adjust the backside a bit and let it kind of flap. Shh. Sound effects are very important when you're drawing these things. You gotta whoosh when you have a cape, otherwise you're just not gonna draw it right. I don't make the rules. It's just how the brain works. It's kind of like making the same face as the expression you're trying to draw. Your expression will be like 10 times better if you're making the same face yourself, even if it's physically impossible. All right. There we go. It's flipping around nicely now, and then I just bring the back in there. It'll all kind of flip out that way, and I think that's all very lovely. So, let's see. This side should be a little bit longer than the rest, so I will adjust that. Okay, no, that's something else. But there we go. Now she's got her very fancy cape, and she is just looking extra fancy. So, you know what? She is looking like 10 times better than she did at the start of stream, so I'm pretty happy with how things went today. Is there anything else I really want to dig into? Maybe I should finally get around to fixing her hair. So basically, I drew this side first, and you can see that her hair is asymmetrical, and I drew it with the side facing us. But now, on this side, the other side is facing us, so that means that the black side is going to be on this side here. So, yeah, sure. I'll go ahead and start drawing it now. I'm just thinking about how I want to go about doing this. Honestly, I think it's going to be easier if I just delete what I have and redraw it from scratch. So, farewell hair, I really liked the way you looked, and I'm sure I will like my new version as well. I think I'll draw it in black first. Just because the black is a little bit easier to see, I think. Let me make sure I get the right colors here. Oh, are they really that close in value? Okay, that looks a little bit more correct. I'm not sure. Huh. I have like a lighter color or something. Let me pull the base color from here. Yeah, there's shenanigans happening. Okay. Yeah, I wonder what happened to my colors here. Did I... Something there is not quite right, so let me go investigate that real quick. How very strange. No, that's her eye color, not her hair color. Right? Is there a reference to the hair color on this? No, the eye color is here, so yeah, this is definitely the hair color. Yes, yes. Okay. Then why do you feel so wrong? No, I got you right. Okay, well, I guess there's liquefy artifacts or something, because that was strange. But anyway, I think I can feel pretty confident in the colors I got here now that I've double checked that, so I'll just go ahead and start drawing. Here we go. So I'll be referencing a picture of her hair off stream, just so I don't have to be constantly switching, scrolling back and forth there. Because, that sounds like a great way to drive myself crazy. So, let me go find a good one. The one I have is of her hair in the other direction. Oh, this is perfect. Okay. Because, yeah, I drew this side first, so I wanted to make sure that I saw that her bangs and the way that her hair kind of wraps around her head on this side when I was drawing this side, and now I want to make sure that I see more of the black side. So, needed to go find one that did that a little bit better for me. And she looks so smug in this picture, it's incredible. The reference I'm looking at, that is. I mean, I guess she looks decently smug in my drawing. But not this. Okay. So, first, we have the little hair tunnel. It is kind of above the center of her eye here, so I'm gonna call it maybe right here. This is where that hair tunnel is, and we get some hair kind of swooping down like that. Does this cover her eyebrow? Yes, it does. This might be a little bit high, but that's okay. I will cross that bridge when I get there. Let's just start getting some stuff down. Oh, I'm drawing with the shadow color. I don't want to be. But I need that shadow color for stuff. Okay. And I'm just gonna take this one strand at a time. It'll be great. Just kind of shaping it a little bit here, and then we get another little strand kind of coming off the side. Just like a little bit more out there. There we go. And then the next bit of hair actually starts underneath this one. This is exactly why I needed a good shadow color. And it will wrap around the side of her face here. So I'll let it overlap her eye just a little. No, I needed to overlap a little bit more than that. I'm realizing that there's physics going on in the reference I have here. So let's see. I'm also looking at the drawing she's done of herself, because there's more of those out there now. And she actually makes her hair look a little bit different. So you know what? That looks way easier to draw, so I'm just gonna do it like that. Cheating! Alright. And yeah, I do think it's a little high. So the way she draws her hair is she doesn't have that extra little random bang. She just has this kind of shape. So you know what? I'm just gonna do it like that. She did her own character design. I'm gonna trust what she drew, as opposed to what her model mama drew. I trust her intentions, and maybe that's a mistake. But... okay. Is that too long? That is a little bit too long. It does just kind of casually go underneath her eye here. There we go. Just something like that. And then we get another little strand just kind of sticking in there. I think I actually want this just a little bit further to the left. I feel like it's covering a little bit too much of her eye. And then there's going to be another strand coming down here. And it's fine that it's not connected there right now. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Okay. So now I'll just gradually start putting in the rest. I think that this looks pretty strong for her bangs. I can kind of see how it all works. And I think I am ready to start attaching the other side here. Just want to get this ridge a little bit nicer. And we'll see a little shadow under there, and there we go. Okay. I'm still just gonna draw the white side in black for now because it's a bit easier to just use one color, and I'll fix it later. Let's see, where does her bangs go? A little bit more than halfway through, so probably to about there. Which lines up perfectly with how I've drawn everything else, and I'm just gonna leave it as one clump for now. Looks like it covers her eyes just a little bit. So I think this is an accurate shape. I think that's pretty accurate there. Then we get the little underside part. I'll make sure that's in there. And then the back of her head is over here somewhere. Okay, and that should about do it. There is going to be, you know, the long strand that kind of comes down here and it gets really swirly. I think a lot of that is going to be going kind of behind her head here, so I'll just draw it like that. And let's see, there's also a little black strand kind of curling down and around her eyes there, so I'll make sure that's in there as well. Okay, so something like this. I think her bangs are sticking out a little bit more than that, so let's give them a little bit more volume. Just over here, and then there's going to be like a shadow here or something where they kind of connect in. Because this part is going to be behind. They're sticking out a little. And then the back of her head is going to be kind of in there, and there we go. This is just kind of how I think about things. This is just kind of how I think about things. And I think this is sticking out a bit too much, but that's okay. I think it's about ready for me to add the white. So let's get those white parts in now. I'm still not really concerning myself with a lot of the shadows and highlights or anything yet. Just as much for me to see what I'm actually drawing. Okay. And then over here on the back of her head, use the same color as what I used on the back of her head over here. We're going to have the part. I don't think that's angled correctly, but, you know, let's get that in there. There we go. We got something like this, I think. This side of the still looks way better, but that's not really surprising considering how much more refined it is. But there we go. And then if I turn on the back of her hair here, we'll get the nice little braid that I have planned, and now she looks a little bit less bald. It's not quite sitting on her shoulder correctly anymore, so I guess I'll move it around just a bit. Actually, where do I want the flower to be? I mentioned when I was messing with the flower back here that I wanted it to be a little bit more prominent than it otherwise would be. It is the flowers is basically what I designed this entire outfit around. So I just kinda really want them to be prominent and highly visible. And right now I'm working on the top part here. It's making the bottom part swing out like crazy, so let's kind of tame that a bit. It's gonna be sitting over her shoulder here. I actually kind of don't like that it's covering her hands and stuff. So I might actually end up doing something else. I like this hairstyle, but I don't like what it's doing compositionally. I'm gonna have to think about that then. So right now it's covering this flower here, and it's covering this hand here. And I definitely wouldn't want the hand to be on top of the hair. The flower I could think I could get away with moving on top of the hair, but the hand, I don't want it to be on top of the hair. So maybe what I do is, instead of that, I just kind of let the hair drape over the hand and go behind her. Yeah, I think that should be fine, actually. Never mind. We're fine. Something like that. I don't think I really want to get deep into hair rendering today. I want to make sure that this is structurally sound. And, you know, maybe next time I can do a little bit of that. And we can get the head on this side looking as good as the head on this side. And maybe we'll really get into body rendering for real. Ooh. Wouldn't that be nice? But yeah, I think she's looking a lot better. You know what? I'm feeling a lot better about things today than I was last time. That's not too surprising, because I was super sick last week, and man, did it make it really hard to work on this. And expend all the brain. But, you know, I think I can be happy with this. I think she's looking pretty good now, and I still really, really like this design. Both of them. I think she's gonna look great in this, and, you know, I kind of hope Katya herself likes it too. So, there we go. I think I'm feeling pretty good, and even after digging into the hair and face there and not looking at this for a while, I still like the way things look. At most, maybe her legs are short, just because her legs are really, really long. But, for the most part, I am pleased. So, I feel pretty good about leaving things here for today. I think I'll go ahead and stop here. So, thank you all for coming, and I hope you're able to make something wonderful today. I will see you all tomorrow.